Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there.
Beauty, it's your girl Euniycemari here, and so today is going to be a very informative video. I have 10 tips for wearing foundation that every girl should know. It doesn't matter if you are a beginner or if you are already in the game. These are some tips that I feel will help just about everybody in a round circle, and especially for my beginners. I don't, like I said, it's not really specifically anybody, but I really want to kind of pinpoint or really say specifically for beginners, because I do get questions about foundation, a lot of questions about foundation, about, you know, like how you pick out the right color, how do you know which one to get, what are the different types, what do I use to apply it. So I'm going to get really detailed in this video, and I'm gonna give you guys 10 tips on wearing foundation and what you know. It's a little starter guide for you guys, okay? So let's go ahead and let's jump into this. All right, so the first tip that I have is to know your skin type. Before you do anything, know your skin type. Are you normal? Are you combination? Are you dry? Are you oily? Are you sensitive? Are you acne prone? Figure that out first, because that's going to also determine what kind of foundation you get. If you're an oily skin girl, you can't go for a foundation that is for dry skin. If you're a dry skin girl, you can't go for foundation that's for oily skin. You have to make sure that you are picking foundations as well for your skin type, okay? Number 2 is do your research. Do your research. Go on YouTube, Google, just do your research. Everybody has one of these in their hands nowadays. Type in, you know, any questions you have about foundation and it's going to pop up. You know, watch tutorials on YouTube, all that. Just do a lot of your research, because that's going to also help you to learn a little bit more about foundations, how they work, and just education is a good thing. Education is always a good thing. So don't just jump into it. Do your research. Look at different brands, look at ingredients, look at types, look at consistency, shades, companies, all that. So do your research. And along with doing your research, I also tagged along to that, know what kind of coverage you want. What kind of girl are you? Are you the girl who is very natural? You just want a little bit of something on the face, nothing too heavy? Or do you have some skin issues, maybe some acne scarring or some acne outbreaks, or maybe uneven skin tone, hyperpigmentation, that you just really want something heavier that is going to cover? So know what type of coverage you want. Know what you are looking for your own personal style or your own personal lifestyle, or what goes with that, okay? So that's another thing to think about while you're doing your research. Like, what type of, you know, coverage are you looking for? So tip number 3 is skincare. I cannot stress this enough, and this is not the first time you guys heard me say this, and it is not the last time I'm going to say this. Skincare is so important. It's like the foundation of your foundation, okay? Make sure you are properly washing your face. Make sure you are exfoliating your face. Make sure you are moisturizing your face, okay? If you have good skin, clear skin, healthy skin, your foundation is gonna look even better, okay? If your skin is peeling, if it's dry, if it's rough, because you're not exfoliating, it does not matter how much freaking foundation you put on. Your foundation is not going to look flawless. It's going to look cakey, it's going to look bumpy, it's going to look peeling, it's not going to look even. It's just going to make wearing foundation a little bit harder. So make sure you get down a proper skincare regimen, so that your foundation and your skin can look its best and your foundation can look its best, okay? That is, I can't stress that enough. I think out of all of these tips, your skincare regimen is the most important one, besides knowing your skin type, because your skin type also goes into what, you know, you use on your face as far as your skincare regimen, okay? So tip number 4 is prepping the skin, okay? Prepping the skin, I mean by primers. Moisturizing too, so making sure you're putting down a good moisturizer on your face, but some people may add down a little bit of a primer. I have some primers here that I'm going to talk about really quickly. So you have a primer, for example, that's a luminizer, Pores No More. It's by Dr. Brandt. So that is pretty much add a little bit of an luminizer to the face, and it also smooths out the skin so that you don't see, you know, pores. And I think this is good too if you have maybe a drier skin and you want something to make you look a little bit more like your skin is alive. Something with a little bit of a luminizer in it is really good, and make sure it's moisturizing too. This one is the Trust Fund Beauty Give Me Good Face, and this one is like more of like a silicone type of primer. I actually like this primer. It's like more of like a silicone type of primer. You see that? I don't know if you guys can see it because it's really light. More of a silicone type of primer, and it doesn't really have much of a scent to it, but it has really good slip on it, and yeah, it's really good slip. So that's gonna also help to smooth out the skin and also give you a great foundation base for your foundation. This stuff is like, it's really good. This stuff is really good. Okay, so this last one that I'm going to talk about is the Serum SOS Thirst. Now with this one, I haven't tried it yet, but I did try it on the back of my hand, and this one's really, really moisturizing. I think this is best for dry skin. So you just want to make sure that you look into primers. If you guys want me to do a video talking more in detail about primers, because I'm not going to do it here, comment down below and say, and let me know that you want me to do a video more on primers, and then I can do a video talking specifically about primers, because there is a lot to know about primers, how they work, and which ones to pick from. So that's another topic. That's another one for another video. Let me know down below. But yes, you definitely want to find you a good primer that's going to help with your application of your foundation. All right, so tip number 5 will be tools. Educate yourselves on the tools that are out there when it comes to applying foundations. Now, there are so many ways, so many tools that you can use when it comes to foundation. So let's go ahead and let's run through them real quick. The first tool, your hands. I have used my hands to blend in foundation before. You just, you know, lightly start to put it into your face, like it's a moisturizer kind of. Blend it out, make sure everything is even out. But the number one thing you can use is your hands. Simple as that. Doesn't have to be crazy. Hands. Tool for applying foundation, a brush. Simple old brush. Now there are many different brushes out there. If I was to go through how many brushes are out there for foundation, I would probably lose my mind. And a lot of times, you guys know here on my channel, even though it says it's for one thing, I use it for something else. So this is a BH Cosmetic brush, a number 3 brush. I don't think this one is for foundation, is it? The thing that I look for with foundation brushes are density and stiffness, because when I'm applying my foundation, I don't want it to be like bending and all that. And this one has a lot of density and it's really stiff, so it gives me a lot of control when applying my foundations. And just another tool that people do use to apply their foundations. It's not one of my favorites to apply foundations, but you know, it is another option out there that people do use. And there are so many different types of sponges that come in so many different types of like materials. They have like a silicone sponge, they have like they just have so much out there. Do your research and, you know, just kind of play around and figure out what works for you. But you definitely want to become familiar with the tools to use when it comes to applying foundation, okay? And that is including your hands, all right? 6 is techniques. Techniques. Now there are so many different techniques. There's probably not too many techniques, but I see people, okay, so they'll take a brush and they'll more so like buff it into the face with the brush, like they just, you know, buff it into the face with the brush. You have people who will take it and they will tap it into the skin. I'm more of a tapper. I tap my foundation into the skin. I don't really buff it because I just feel like that doesn't work for me. I more so tap it into the skin. And I think those are only 2 ways, buffing and tapping. I don't think I've seen any other way, except for with sponges. Sometimes people roll it, like they roll their foundation and stuff into the skin. So there are different techniques that you use depending on also too what tools you're using. Because also with your fingers, you probably do a small little, you know, circular motions to rub it into the skin. You may tap it in certain areas. So there's different techniques when it comes to applying foundations, so you might want to kind of just become familiar with those as well. Do your research, like I said, and make sure you know which techniques you want to try out. Just become familiar with the techniques that are out there, okay? Tip number 7 is get professional help. An MUA, a makeup artist, go to a department store. If you are really unsure, go into a department store or Sephora or Ulta and say, hey, can somebody match me and give me my colors, like my undertones. And once you get matched and you know your undertones and your skin tone, then you can kind of go from there as far as like looking for foundations, okay? And I know in department stores, they're gonna kill me for saying this, they're gonna kill me, but a lot of times department stores will try to, you know, you'll come in and get matched, but they'll try to get you to buy something from their counter. And sometimes those foundations are not cheap, and you may not want to go that expensive with starting off. So I would say you can go get matched at a department store, but go to like CVS, go to like Target, go and look at a Wet n Wild photo focus for $6. Go find your color. Sometimes you may have to mix colors together to get your color, and then you can apply your foundation and play around with that foundation that way. But you want to make sure, if you are completely not sure, go and get color matched by a professional, okay? Tip number 8 is shade. Okay, so let's talk about shade or your skin tone. This is a big one. Make sure you have the right skin tone or the right shade for your skin. I cannot tell you how many times I see a lot of girls walking out here with foundation that is too light, specifically foundation that is too light. You rarely see foundation that is too dark. It's foundation that is too light. Some foundations do oxidize. So by that, if you get it lighter, usually they will get a little bit darker as you wear them. But some of the cases that I see, no. So you want to make sure that you are getting the right shade so that it looks natural. It doesn't look like you have makeup on or you have a cast on a white cast over your face. So just make sure that you are finding your right shade. I don't think I have to really dive too deep into that one. You guys know, and I know some of y'all done saw some of these chicks walking around with that, yeah, that. You don't want to look like that. So make sure you have the right shade of foundation for your skin tone, okay? Number 9 is set it. Set it. Make sure you set that foundation, okay? Set it. I cannot tell you. Pressed powder, loose powder, yeah, translucent powder, set it. Make sure you are, after you apply your foundation, take a little bit of some loose powder, translucent powder, pressed powder, and just go ahead and set that foundation so that everything stays locked in one place, okay? Especially if you're an oily chick like me, because y'all can see I'm shining and no, I don't have on highlighter, okay? You want to make sure you are setting that foundation so that it stays in place and it's not slipping and sliding all over your face, or so that when it mixes with the oils of the skin, you don't have that what is it called? I know you guys seen it where you can see that it's like the foundation is not actually on the skin, it's like sitting on top of the skin mixed with the oils of your skin, so it's all streaky. Yeah, something like that. So you just want to make sure that you are setting your foundation when you're done putting it on. All right, and my last tip, number 10, is hands on. It doesn't matter how many tutorials you watch, it doesn't matter how much I tell you about what to do so that you can look flawless with your foundation. You have to take hands on with foundation. You have to make sure that you are getting your foundation, getting your brush, sitting down in front of a mirror and just putting it on and trying out different techniques and making sure you look in the mirror and that you're happy with what you see. If you try it on and it's too light, take it back to the department store. If you try it on and it's too heavy for you, use a little bit less. Just play around with it, get that hands on. That's the best way when it comes to beauty or the world of beauty. The best way to get it is hands-on. A lot of times you can watch, you can look, you can listen, but if you don't get any hands-on, you're not really getting the full experience and you're not really getting the full education and what works for you, okay? So that is my top 10 tips on wearing foundation. Hopefully this was beneficial to you guys out there. Make sure to leave all your questions down below. If you guys want me to do a further video on any of these things, like maybe the different types of foundations, how to know which ones to get, leave that down below. As far as primers, like if you guys have anything that you guys want me to go in further detail in a future video, leave it down below and I will definitely go ahead and I will do that for you. As well as if you're not comfortable with leaving a comment down below, because some people may feel, you know, I don't want to ask a question, my email is in the description box. You can always email me your questions about anything makeup related, hair related, any of that, so you can also do that. But I think I touched everything in this video when it comes to foundation and how those key things are very important to having the best experience that you can have wearing foundation. And you don't have to be scared of it, you don't have to be, you know, intimidated by it. You can wear it flawlessly with just these tips and just really getting that hands-on and doing what works best for you. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your girl Euniycemari. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you in a later video. Bye.